Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live
from the 757,
where we discuss real estate, culture,
and current events.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Sophia?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. We got company.
We do.
Got
a special guest.
Yeah, I got my guy Stephen Blanchard here.
Thank you.
Look, I'm so tired of his intros.
Oh man.
Come on, you need to.
That wasn't that great, right?
Stephen Blanchard, okay?
What's the history? What's the background?
Yeah, so Stephen is a guy I met a while ago. We have a mutual friend, Jerome. Jerome O's. I'm gonna shout out to my buddy Jerome. He linked us a long time ago. I can't remember even how long ago it was, man. It's been over 10 years ago. Yeah. But yeah, Steven's a good dude, man. I know he had moved to Ohio. How long ago?
This is my 11th year.
11th year, okay.
Yep. What made you move to Ohio?
Man, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that today.
Ohio. You looked at the United States and was like, yep.
No, that's not how it went down. That's not how it went down. I wish.
But yeah, Steve moved a while ago, man, but we've always kept in contact, man. Steven is an entrepreneur just like myself. He's schooled me on a lot of business credit over the years, giving me a lot of game. I've used him in several different endeavors when it comes to business credit. So we felt that we wanted to bring him on the podcast this week just to share, some insight on how business credit works and just some of the different nuances. I know a lot of times we hear a lot of things out there, on social media, on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of times I'll get people come to me and be like, hey, man, I tried this and it didn't work. But every time I refer people over to Steven and vice versa, man, I feel like, they're in good hands and Steven takes care of them, man. So we want to make sure we, kind of cut out some of those myths that we hear in the business credit space. And Steve can give us some jewels when it comes to business credit today. So is that better intro right there, Sophia? A little bit?
Man, a little bit. Come on. Next time you got to do better. All right. I shouldn't have to tell you to introduce somebody how they need to be introduced.
You're right. But it's been a little bit too since we recorded too, right, Sophia? I know we record every Friday. I think last time we recorded was last Tuesday because both of us went out of town, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So how did everything go? You went to D.C., right?
I did. It was a good time. So we went to Howard University, had a college tour for my daughter. Okay. It was a great time. The two tour guides, one was a pre-med graduating senior.
Nice.
One was a pre-law graduating senior.
Okay.
There were two black girls, black girl magic.
There we go.
And my daughter, she wants to be pre-med. So she said it was nice seeing somebody like her, real close to her age, that was actually doing it, and they dropped some gems. So it was a nice time. Then we went to a Habesha restaurant. Okay. We ate good.
What?
Eritrean.
She did kind of say that joint fast, right? What?
It's an East African restaurant.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then we went to the Hamilton in D.C., which is one of it's a popular restaurant in D.C. close to the White House. Yeah. They say President Obama and Michelle Obama frequent there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we went there, had dinner. That was really nice. We tried to hit up the African American Museum of Culture and Black History or something like that.
I still ain't been there yet.
I've been there one time, a long time ago.
So I attempted to go twice, and traffic was so bad. And I just was like, I'm done. So we ended up going to Tyson's Corner. My daughter, she wanted to thrift, so we went thrifting.
No.
One scale to the other.
I was about to say, Tyson's Corner.
Then we went to the thrift store. I was like, come on now.
How old is your daughter?
15.
So I don't know if it's a new, and I haven't told y'all yet, but I don't know if it's a new thing with the teenagers. My sons, both of them, did the same thing. I was like, where y'all going? We're going thrifting. I'm like, y'all go thrifting as teenagers?
Yeah,
It must be a thing.
It's a thing. So, and she sought out nice neighborhoods. To get the good stuff.
To get the stuff, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so y'all thrifting in like
we were
like
in
yard
McLean.
sale, not yard sales, but like y'all are. What do you mean thrifting as far as
when you go to like Goodwill?
Salvation Army type of deal.
Oh, so I see what you're saying.
Find them in the bigger areas that got money, and then you're gonna find some gems.
Things.
Oh, they got some stuff in there.
Okay.
So
I'm putting on
her
game.
big thing has been trying to find jorts. It's like jean shorts that are like.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. They kind of boyish, kind of not. I don't know, but. We went, she found some stuff, and she also had an interview yesterday at CHKD.
Nice.
She's interning this summer.
Oh, nice.
And so she got the job.
Oh, she did.
Congratulations!
Yes.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so
you talking about the
she's
CHKD right now on Volvo? You talking about which
one in Norfolk, because she wants to work with kids, so they have like a pediatric area where she's going to be interning for 2 weeks, and then hopefully she's going to be applying to the Centera internship. Okay, and she'll be able to do 2. So.
Oh man, look at that.
Dope.
That's what I'm talking about.
She came back from DC and was like, she hit the ground running.
Yeah. See, it's cool. I'm glad that you did that, man, because one thing I'll say is that a lot of times for like, you know, us, our generation, and just not our generation, but just us black folks, when we get exposed, like a lot of times when we get exposed to things,
we do better.
Yeah, we like say, oh man, I didn't even know that could be done. You know what I'm saying? So for your daughter to be able to go on that HBCU trip, like you said, see some pre-med students that are actually doing what she's aspiring to do, that just kind of puts the battery in your back when you get home. Like, yo, I got to get to it. You know what I mean? I got to really see what I need to do to be able to be on that same trajectory. You know, so that's dope.
Absolutely.
That's real dope.
I told her about our next guest too, and how she plays volleyball. She was like, I want to go. I was like, nope, you'll be in school. I'm sorry. I can't let you miss school for that one.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
So it was a good weekend. Then we ended up shooting over to my cousin's house in Alet, and we shot pool. Okay. And I lost. I'm so mad.
Yeah. I'm about to say, what you clear your door for? Did you win or lose?
I lost.
You lost?
Yeah, I did. I did. But I know why I lost. I just can't really say on air why I lost.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
But there was a reason behind losing. Okay. Usually I kills it.
Okay. I'm pretty nice in pool too, man.
Yeah.
I think I can beat you, man. I don't know.
Especially, I don't know.
We have to try to see.
Have to see.
Yeah. I got a pool table at the crib.
I'm surprised you ain't got a pool table in this office.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. I got a pool table at the crib, man.
Yeah, because our manager, he shoots pool.
He did.
Actually,
Yeah, he does.
Bring one in here.
Yeah.
Put it
that's
in the
what
budget.
we need. We're gonna tell him.
Yeah.
We're gonna let him know. He might make it happen for real.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But how was your weekend?
My weekend was good, man. We as we spoke on this last week's podcast, we went to St. Thomas. So that was really, really fun, man. It was actually through the company. So they have like a every year they do a sales trip, right? And so
I ain't meet those numbers. Just saying, I made my own sales trip. We went to Washington D.C.
yeah, man. So I was able to make the sales trip this year. And it was cool. It was in St. Thomas. It was probably like 40 of us and our spouses. And it was cool, man. Like, they had everything set out really, really nice for us. On one of the days, they had a beach day where they had a boat come pick us up at like 8:30. And then, like, the boat took us to Megan's Bay, which is, like, one of the most popular beaches over there. And so, like, he had it all, like, blocked off for us. So couldn't nobody, I guess, like, for that whole day, it was just pretty much our beach, and which was pretty cool. So we had, like, food, drinks. They had, like, pickleball out there. They had music and everything. And it was just funny, man. I know a lot of us, I know we probably, like, socialized with our coworkers before. But it was just pretty funny, man, seeing, like, some of our coworkers, like, getting toe up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was like, yeah, man, they was getting toe up. There was one dude in particular, I ain't gonna say his name, man, but he was dunzo. Like, he was dunzo.
Let his hair down.
Yeah, he fell off the, like, not off the boat, but he stumbled, like, almost off the boat. Like, yeah, it was port. It was part at the time, so it wasn't like it was moving. But he was pretty messed up, man. Yeah, but no, it was dope, man. I got sunburned really bad, which sucked. It's crazy because one, I didn't even know us black folks can get sunburned like that.
How didn't you know that?
Yeah. So I put sunscreen on, but they were saying what I didn't do was reapply, right? So every morning before we went out, because pretty much in the morning time we would head out around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then, we really wouldn't come back until like later that evening, right? And so I would put sunscreen on before we head out, but I didn't like continuously put it on. You said, what's that? Yeah, right.
Black people, we don't put on no sunscreen.
We don't, no, we don't, man. So I put it on, man, and like.
So wait, do you put it on your children?
Nah, I have. Yeah, I actually have. I have. Yeah, I have.
I put it on my kids.
Yeah, I put sunscreen on my children. You haven't done, Steve? Never.
I have some, but not like it ain't no priority.
Yeah,
probably wifey that'd be like, make sure everybody put the sunscreen on. I'm just like, I'm going out.
Yeah. It was just one of the things where they were like pretty heavy. They were like, yo, because we're closer to the equator, like, yo, you need to go ahead and put sunscreen on. So they made it known. So I was like, all right, cool. So I put it on. But man, like on Sunday when we were coming back, like I took a shower, man, and that joint, like the water was hitting my back just taking a shower, bro.
And it was hurting.
Yeah, it was hurting, man. And then then my back was peeling and everything. So it was tough, man. It was tough, yo. But all in all, we had a great time, man. Brooke and I mean, it was good to be able to get away from the kids for a little bit. You know, just kind of spend some time, obviously, with my coworkers, but then also we spent a lot of time just ourselves. You know, we had dinner a couple of times. We went to this place called Top of the Mountain out there, which was one of the best views I've ever seen in my life. You literally go up. We had a taxi cab take us up to like the top of the hill. It's like your ears pop. It's like you're way in elevation, bro. Yeah, and then it's like you can see St. John, St. Croix. You can see all the different beaches and all the different islands over there, man. And it was gorgeous, man. It was really, really cool.
That's how it was when I was in Costa Rica when we went up. I can't remember what volcano we went up, but you could definitely
Arias pop, man. That joint was crazy.
Yeah, it's like being on an airplane for sure.
Yeah. So that was pretty fun, man. The only thing that sucked was the flight back. So the owner of the company, he actually had a charter plane for us, which was cool, right? So you know, everybody who went on the sales trip, we were all on the same plane. It wasn't like we were like, you know, amongst other people that were traveling, you know, to other different destinations. So, you know, the way the plane structure was set up was we actually picked up some other people in Charlotte that work with the company, right? So it was here, and we picked up some people in Charlotte and went to St. Thomas. So on the way there, it took us like 3.5 hours to get there, right? Which is not bad at all.
To get to St. Thomas.
To get to St. Thomas. It took us an hour to get to Charlotte, like 2.5 hours from Charlotte to St. Thomas. Yeah. So we, on the way back, though, on Sunday, we got on the plane at like 10 that morning, and we were supposed to get back around like 2. You know what I'm saying? But it was so many different delays. I mean, it was crazy. We didn't actually end up getting back to 11:30 that night. It's crazy. And we were on the plane the whole time. So it's not like I was off the plane and kind of just sitting there waiting at the gate and nothing like that. We were literally, like at 10 o'clock, we were sitting there waiting. They said there was some weather by Miami. So they were like, hey, we're going to wait and see if that weather passes. We waited for like an hour and a half. Then finally they were like, all right, we're going to just try to go around the weather, right? So when we were getting ready to go, they were like, hold on, because we were sitting on the plane and waited so long, the plane was low on gas. So they were like, hold on, let's go get some more gas. We got some more gas. Then we got in the air, start flying around this, I guess, storm weather, whatever. And when we're in the air, like an hour and a half into the flight, they're like, we're going to have to make an emergency descent down to Miami because we're running out of gas.
Oh, yeah. No.
We was like, what? How are you running out of gas? And you just said you filled up on the gas.
From St. Thomas to Miami is nothing but an hour flight.
This is a private jet?
This is it's not a private jet. It's a chartered plane. So it's a regular plane.
I fly regular from now on.
Yeah, man. So I went to the Super Bowl a month and a half ago and flew from Vegas for 6 hours straight, like, and the plane didn't was about to run out of gas.
They didn't put the gas in there the first time.
That's what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking they was capping. So so anyway, we descend out of Miami. Obviously, we're not supposed to be in Miami, so there's no gate for us to pull into, right? Dang. So we just sitting there waiting around for like another hour. They finally find a gate for us to pull into. They put gas in the plane. Then, and it's crazy the thing, but they didn't even say. They said it was weather. When we got to Miami, it was sunny as I don't know what. I ain't see no rain, no weather, Miami, no nothing like that. So when they were saying it was weather, I'm like, well, where was this weather at? I didn't see no signs of weather.
You pulled into Miami International or Fort Lauderdale?
Miami International.
Okay, it could have been weather because you could be in Miami and be in Fort Lauderdale. It'd be storming.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, I'm just talking about as far as the signs of things that they said, it didn't make sense. That's all I'm saying. So that happened. So we was in Miami for a little bit on the plane, never got off the plane. Then finally, for us to be able to take back off, we had to kind of get in line to what the other planes were already, who already had planned to leave. So that took like another hour. So then we finally get to Charlotte. We get to Charlotte, and the people who were getting off at Charlotte, they had their bags messed up. So it was a whole situation there. And we had got there late, so they also didn't have a gate for us to pull into immediately as well, right? So we was in Charlotte for like 2 hours, and then by that time, it's like 5:30 at night. Then they were like, hey, because the pilot had been on the plane for close to 10 hours, he can't take us to Virginia because it's a max amount of time a pilot can be in the cockpit. Yep. So then they had to find a whole new crew for us. So that took like another hour and a half, 2 hours.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Then we had to get gas again because we were low on gas because we were just sitting there. Mind you, we didn't have any food this whole time, but a whole bunch of potato chips, and they had a whole bunch of liquor on the plane. So people was drunk. Women was crying because they was like, yo, what's going on? I got to get to my kids. Yeah, they was like, kind of worried. This was like a situation for real. Like, just think about it. It was a situation. You know what I mean?
What can you do?
Especially when you're on a plane and like
that's how I feel. You can't control it.
I can't do nothing.
Right.
Well, it was a situation. I think it was it was the combination of events, right? Just think about it. If you're on a plane in the air and they're saying, hey, we got to make an emergency descent because we're about to run out of gas, there's going to be some panic that's going to set in.
And they were sipping on the plane, too?
Yeah, there's going to be panic to set in because you're just, especially after you just heard that the plane just got full on gas. So it's like the plane leaking gas. So there's going to be some type of panic that's going to set in, like, hey, what's going on? Because it didn't make sense. Every time they said something, it was just like, it didn't really make sense. But anyway, long story short, we ended up getting back around 11-something. And but like I said, outside of that, the trip was
amazing.
It was great.
Cool.
It was dope. We had a really good time.
That story took a while, so I can imagine how you felt on that plane.
Man, tell me about it.
Going to sleep.
Tell me about it. I tried.
I can't do nothing about it.
Right.
I tried. They ain't had on the one thing on the chart. They ain't had no Wi-Fi, so I couldn't really do nothing. Yeah. So all I did was listen. I had music downloaded on your phone, so I was listening to the same songs over and over again. I know some of the words. I knew them before, but I really know them now. Like they locked in for real in my head. So yeah.
That is.
Yeah. So a couple of times that we stopped. I locked in and kind of was watching like some March Madness basketball games and kind of just, reading and doing some stuff. Yeah. So
how about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend or this week?
Weekend.
Okay, I'll talk about this week. My kids are on spring. I have 4 kids.
Okay.
So,
how old?
17, about to be 18 next month.
Okay.
16, 9, and my baby girl just turned 3 on this past Tuesday.
Okay.
So we celebrated her birthday. They on spring break, just chilling. We was gonna do a family trip, but we decided to stay. Plus had to come here. Mm-hmm. But we celebrated her birthday, and that little girl, she is only girl in the house too, besides wifey. But 3 older brothers. But yeah, we just spending time with the kids. So yeah, long week.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Those are the longest weeks.
Yeah, my kids got spring break next week. So actually,
mine's too.
Yeah, they were
started today.
Yeah, mine started yesterday. Yep. So they were out of school yesterday. Then obviously today they were out of school too, and then they're out for the whole week next week. So yeah, spring break, and they already the last 2 days, and I've been really busy with
drive
work.
You crazy, man.
Man, what? Yeah. Going crazy, eating up every single thing, just acting crazy. Want to go do this, want to go do that. Like it's a lot.
It almost feels like they don't have a schedule at school, right?
I
feel like my kids, they come to me, they say, okay, it's breakfast time. So I quit, in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. We on point. This is when you have your first meal.
Yeah.
But then like an hour later, they're like, I'm hungry again. I'm like, but at school, you don't eat during this time.
Yeah.
You can't go back and ask for seconds an hour later, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, my baby girl did the same thing. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, yesterday. It was yesterday, man. I got her some Chick-fil-A breakfast. I actually had to get my car serviced yesterday. So I had to drop it off, and then Brooke met me at the dealership and took us back or whatever, because it was gonna be like an all day thing. And so we picked up some Chick-fil-A breakfast on the way, and we got home. She ate a little chicken nugget sandwiches joint. Hour later, I'm on a work call. She just freaking out. She's just falling out. I'm hungry. I'm like, what the hell? You just ate like an hour ago. Like, how are you hungry again? Like, what is going on? Like.
Because you gave her Chick-fil-A. You know what they put in Chick-fil-A?
Oh yeah.
That's what they say.
They put that crack.
Did you see that they're no longer using free range chicken or something?
Yeah.
They did something else now.
So they're no longer. I guess the free range antibiotic chickens that they were using for Chick-fil-A chickens.
For they're on low demand right now.
So they're no longer
high demand. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess
they no longer can keep up.
Yeah, with the demand of how much chicken that they're having to produce for Chick-fil-A.
So what are they giving us?
Some regular chicken.
Nah,
maybe some Popeyes chicken.
Nah, they doing something.
They giving us some meow. That's what they giving
some
fake cats.
Yeah. Because wasn't that approved with the FDA? Like for them to start
giving
artificial chicken.
Yeah. They started in Cali. I know they're already doing it in Cali at some different restaurants out there.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But California, I must say, when you look at some of the things that they don't allow in the state, they're more on the healthier side than the rest of us.
Really? The California?
The state itself. They don't allow certain clothing. They don't allow certain things to be made a certain way, just in the state of California.
Yeah.
If you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about.
And then we look at the taxes and the cost of living. It's I'll eat the fake stuff.
Right.
Most definitely.
That's true.
But so we can go ahead and get into it, man. Like I said, I gave Steve a soft intro earlier. We have him today. Like I said, he came all the way from Ohio.
Yes.
So we definitely appreciate you coming through and showing our podcast some love.
Yes.
But yeah, we wanted to get into a couple of questions that, as far as business credit, that we hear a lot. Like I'll have some people, because I'm, me and Sophia deal with the mortgage end. We help a lot of different people buy houses.
I got stories for y'all.
Yeah, I bet. All different types of, business owners, self-employed people, especially during the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people got on their entrepreneurial game. A lot of people are trying to, work for themselves. So, business credit is something that really can be utilized, especially if you utilize it the right way to help you propel your business. So the first thing that we wanted to do was just ask you a couple of questions, right?
There we go. Shoot them all.
All right, cool. So the first question is, what is, like, as far as your role, are you a business credit specialist, or what is exactly the name of your role?
Yeah, so me and Sophia was asked, she asked me like 5 times what my title was.
Okay.
And I'm thinking like, oh shoot, what is my title? But in reality, in the industry, the title is broker.
Broker, okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it could be a funder, it could be a business credit specialist, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's so, like, the industry is so broad and there's different avenues within it, but in reality, you're a broker, especially if you're helping small businesses obtain capital and stuff like that. So
yeah. And that's fun. That's kind of like how we do too, right, Sophia? Like, we can be, considered, I've been called a home loan specialist, mortgage loan originator, mortgage loan officer,
loan officer,
mortgage broker. I mean, I've all of those things, right?
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Check.
right.
That
a lot of hats.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So how long have you been in the industry, Steve?
Oh, man, this is great because I'm actually telling a story about you. Okay. So I've been in the credit industry, per se, since 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Stumbled upon it because my credit was jacked up, and I'm be transparent, my credit was bad. And so I ended up fixing my credit myself. I got to 740. And then I started looking at properties in Ohio because I wanted to buy my first house. My sister, she didn't own a house. A lot of my family members didn't own a house. And I was like, man, I just want to do something for myself and my children. And make a long story short, so that's kind of where my start came from. I reached out to Bryan when he was working at a previous, I think he had already left that company. Yeah. And then you've been here.
Yeah, I came here in 2018.
Okay, so right after you came here. And then we kind of talked. I was asking him some questions about, good mortgage companies to go to and so on and so forth. I ended up financing with Wells Fargo.
Yep.
And then because I purchased my home, I had people asking me like, how did you purchase it? How did you get your credit score up and so on and so forth? And I was just kind of giving out like some free tips and stuff that I did because I didn't pay a company to fix my credit. And actually I had a lot of friends that had their credit fixed, and then some of them were kind of telling me some things to do, and it worked out because I got to a 740. And then I started a credit repair company in 2019 out of a need of me fixing mines. People kind of asking. I'm just like, I can make some money teaching people this. And that's kind of where that started. And the good thing about that I don't have it anymore, so I solely only do business credit and funding. But during that time of me having my credit repair company, I had a lot of clients here in Virginia. And so any of my clients that were looking to purchase a home that were ever in Virginia, I sent them over to Bryan. And a couple of them did close on properties through Bryan and Atlantic Bay and whatnot. So shout out to y'all for taking care of my clients. But so since, I would really say since 2019, because once I started my credit repair company, you kind of go down this rabbit hole of learning what's next.
Gotcha.
And so that's how I stumbled upon the business credit, is because some of my clients were business owners, and they're like, man, I don't need my credit fixed. I need to learn more about how do I establish more business credit. So I learned the hard way. So these kids now are learning the better way, which is personal. We'll get into it too, but personal guarantor, you get access to money. But I learned building net 30 accounts and trade lines. That's no personal guarantee, and you got to pay some money to get these supplies through like Uline, Quill, Grange, and all of that. And so now I know both sides of it, but that's kind of how my start came, purchasing programs and stuff like that. So
so you're from Virginia?
Yeah, from Virginia Beach. I went to Green Run.
Okay, and then Ohio, your family?
Oh my gosh,
like,
no.
How did you get to Ohio?
Right,
that's what I want to know.
This is what happened. So, quick story. I was dating a girl. She was from Ohio.
Okay.
And we wanted to take things serious.
It's funny how a lot of stories always start. I met a girl.
I met a girl.
I met somebody.
So my entire family's from here in Carolina. I have no family in Ohio. My mom moved there like a year or two after I moved there, but literally still to this day, no family. So I moved there in 2013 and then been there ever since. So
2013. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's different. It's different out there.
I know.
But I'm away.
Y'all winters are something serious.
Lately, they haven't been that bad. I'm moving.
This year it wasn't.
They haven't been that bad. But when I first moved there, they was joking me because I didn't own like an actual coat. I just had a jacket. And I remember the first time I realized I was in Ohio. I was coming out. This is when I was working. I was coming out of my job and had my jacket on, and my car was parked in the front parking spot. From leaving the door to the front parking spot, my hand started hurting. I'm like, why my hands hurt? And I realized how cold it was. My body was reacting to how cold it was. I was like, yeah, I'm in Ohio.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
different
When they say when you live in states like Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, you have to buy your coat from that state.
Oh, you do?
It's like, it's like
that's
they
true. No, it's
specially
true.
make them there
No,
for
that's
them.
a fact.
That's
They introduced me to Carhartt and all these other companies and whatnot. So yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, you have to unless you freeze.
Yeah,
it's
bad.
something different.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
That's crazy.
That reminds me of the time that Bryan told me that we had a snowstorm here, and he was outside shoveling with a normal shovel.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not a.
No, but that's how it is. Like that's what I
snow
started
shovel.
with. That's what I started with. I'm just like, oh, this would be easy work. You out there killing yourself.
Yeah, man. Bro, I was out there literally. I had like a shovel you dig like dirt. Like a little small joint. You know what I'm saying? And one of my neighbors, like, they were driving out of the neighborhood and they were like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like,
if it was me and I saw that, I would have definitely. No, I would have put on my camera and be like, look at this nigga.
That's the age that we in now. Instead of asking for help, everybody want to get you on camera. Yep. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I'm going viral.
Right.
When it comes to like someone being hurt, I'm not gonna pull out my camera, but some funny stuff like that. Oh yeah, of course. I'm like.
Look at this fool.
Yeah. I was digging, bro, and I was out there. Had been out there for about an hour, right? And I had made no traction, bro. No traction. And then the dude rolled by. He was like, you need some help? I was like, I'm a man, private. I'm like, no, I'm good, bro, over here, right? And he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I need some help, dog. I'm glad he asked the second time because I was like, yeah, I need some help, bro. He's like, yeah, I got my big shovel, and I ended up doing it like in 30 minutes. The job that was taking me an hour to get nowhere, I did it in like 30 minutes.
What about now? If you was to get snow now,
he bought a shovel.
Yeah, I got a shovel now.
Would you still shovel? Would you just hire somebody to come out?
I would shovel, bro. I would shovel, man. Yeah, because I hire a lot of people to do a lot of things, man. Yeah. So because snow is something that's just like, it ain't, especially here, we don't get it very much.
That's true. That's
you know
true.
what I mean? So it's not like it's like a thing where I feel like I got to kind of put that in the rotation of like taking care of her. I can just go out there and do that myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And plus I got a son, so I want to teach him, I've been trying to teach him like, because a lot of times it's funny, he be at the crib like he don't know what me and his mom do. Like, he could be at the house, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, y'all don't really, because we come to the office and work here and there, but for the most part, I work from home.
Are
so
you
he's
gonna teach him how to change a tire?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Some stuff I would say as a son or even a daughter, you got to teach them.
Oh, got to.
But some stuff is like delegate. Pay somebody to do it. Because I don't even cut my own grass no more.
Yeah, I don't either. I literally got a text this morning.
You shovel though. You have to.
Nah, so I'm gonna tell you the recent story. So when you know some people that do search, she's like,
I want to hear this story.
When it comes to time, like I got sons too. They've shoveled the driveway and all that stuff.
You got when you got real snow, you got to hit that in the morning.
Nah, so what I did was one of my clients, he owns a landscaping company.
Yep.
So he does the whole let me ice your driveway in the winter. So what he did is he actually had him. I called him. Snow was out there. I said, man, can you come get this out my driveway? So I did my driveway, and then my neighbor across the street, he's like 70. So I said, knock out mine and knock out his. But I'll just pay you to do it. My time is valuable, and I'm not going to.
Steve, that's what I was going to say, bro. Like, that's the conversation I actually have with my pops. Like, because my dad is one of those old school, don't pay nobody to do nothing. You do it yourself. You could have saved money. I'm like, Dad, I'm not. So my time is valuable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if it's time I'm working, trying to, bring in, earn income, or if it's time where I'm trying to spend with my family, like that supersedes all of that stuff. So, and with me being in this area, like you said, being in the mortgage space, how you help people, like, I know somebody that do pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I'm looking out for them as well. You know what I mean? Showing them some support.
And they want to help because you helped them close on a property, whatever. Exactly. So like, man, thanks for calling. I got you. I'm gonna do it for free.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what happened. So the dude that came and did mine,
exactly.
I kept texting him. When you do legit business, I kept texting him, send me the invoice, send me the invoice, send me the invoice. 2 weeks go by. I called him. I said, just send me how much it costs because I want to pay for mine and my neighbor driveway. He said, man, you done looked out for me so much, man. Don't even worry about it.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely. So. Still, you don't hit the snow early in the morning?
Bump all that.
So how many times have you failed?
Oh, let me see. Shoot. I think I only failed like twice. I think it's been twice. Yeah. Because you can't see it. You know what I'm saying? And the ice is underneath it. You gotta hit the snow early in the morning. I learned something new though because I learned probably living here, you put the ice on top of the snow. Before it snows, but then I'm living in Ohio. Ice. I mean the salt. I'm sorry, the salt. Then I learned living there, like no, put the salt down first.
Yeah.
And then when it snows and all that, it won't never stick. And I'm just like, see, they ain't teach me that. Yeah. They ain't teach me that at school.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Okay,
Yep.
We're gonna move on from Ohio. I got the next question.
Yeah, we'll jump into because there's a question I had when Steve started to speak about
go ahead.
credit, and I was just gonna jump in with it. But I know a lot of times, like most people out there, they know what credit is, right? Like they know what credit score on the personal side, right?
Yep.
So we typically, when we help people, Sophia, as far as buy houses, we pull a tri-merge credit report. They have 3 different credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, right? Yeah. So, a lot of times, we see what the person's credit score is, and based upon that does dictate a lot of the things that we can do when it comes to the lending aspect, right? Yep. So that's personal credit, right? So I heard you kind of rattle off a couple of different things when it comes to the business credit side. So can you explain like how it is on the business side? I know you mentioned like a personal guarantee. Yeah. As far as on the personal side, I kind of understand what that is, but also just as well as like the equivalent of what like Experian and TransUnion and Equifax is on the personal side. What is that for the business side?
Okay, and that's a good question. So let's start with the personal guarantor or the personal guarantee. So a lot of companies that are generating money or people that want to kind of build their business credit, the first thing I tell people is what's your gross annual income or what's your gross monthly income? Do you have tax returns and all of that? Because that's going to determine how much you're going to qualify for. Because if you have tax returns and you're making a certain amount of money, some stuff you'll be able to get access to more business credit. If you're just starting out the company or you don't have any established business credit, the fastest route to get money is going to be the personal guarantor, which means that you're going to leverage your good personal credit in order to get business credit. Now, what that means is it's not going to report to your personal credit. It's only going to report to the business credit unless you default. Once you default, then all of that stuff is going to come onto your personal credit. Yeah. But the whole point of the game is leverage your business credit so you can make a return on investment, so you won't have to worry about that stuff coming on your personal credit. Yeah. You're basically signing off your personal credit to say that I'm worthy enough to establish a business line of credit, business credit card, et cetera. And that goes for any of the business credit cards that y'all see people getting, the Amexes, the Chase, the Wells Fargo, the Navy Federals, and all that. You are personally guaranteeing every single one of those. Unless your business is grossing, $3 million a year and you got the docs to prove it, then 99.9% of the time, people that are flashing these cards, they're personally guaranteeing it. So they have good credit to get it. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, I know a lot of times we get those types of I'm pretty sure Sophia's probably seen it as well. Like we'll get, a person who owns a business or whatnot, and we may see some things show up on their credit report, but we see that it's actually in their business name, right? So it's still not like having any impact when it comes to the actual personal credit. But we do see that, like you said,
you can see it on their personal credit report.
Well, we can see like the credit has been ran, right?
Right. You see
so we can see,
so
we can see, like you said, as far as the personal guarantee.
About that too.
So we can see like, hey, we don't see that the account ever came up. We're like, hey, well, where's this account at? Because we have to make sure we have accounted for all your different liabilities, right? But we'll see that hey, their credit was, I guess like you said, leveraged in a situation trying to help them when it comes to business credit. So that's cool. That's cool.
Can I tell a quick story?
Absolutely. Go ahead,
All
man.
right. So because y'all in the mortgage industry, I had a client, this one particular client back at home in Ohio. He he's in his 40s. He wanted to purchase a property and he came to me for some business funding, but he also he wanted to figure out a way where he could remove 2 vehicles from his personal credit because it was affecting his debt to income to qualify for more of a house. Mm-hmm. So with the cars on his credit report, he qualified for $200K. But then his lender told him if they're removed, I think he would qualify for like $300 to $350. Mm-hmm. So he was like, man, is there any way I can do this? And I'm going to give you a quick little story what happened. So what we ended up doing was got him some business funding. We paid off those cars. So now the debt to income is completely off. The business credit that we leveraged to pay off the cars does not show up on his personal because it's on the business credit profile. And make a long story short, I think it only took about 2 months because he closed in September on his brand new house that he actually wanted. It was like a $300,000 house, but it only came because we leveraged and he actually owns a legit business. Yeah. We leveraged his business credit to pay off those vehicles. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So now what happens is because he had I think his monthly payments were like $1,100 total between both cars. So we moved him over and leveraged 0% business credit to where now there's no interest on it. So because they were paid off, instead of him paying $1,100 a month, we moved him over to the business credit cards or business credit at 0%. And now his monthly payment is, I think, like $400 or $500. So he's saving $600 a month because he's leveraging no interest and he has ownership in the cars and he's got his, and he rents the cars out.
And on top of that, which is crazy, is because now, like you said, because he's in the vehicles have now been put over into, I guess, the business side, like you said, and he's paying strictly principal during this time as well, right? So when he had them in his personal name, he was paying back interest as well. So he's now paying solely principal payments. So that's crazy. So he's saving money
sooner.
Yeah, he can pay it off sooner, and like his monthly output is a lot less, especially taking on, because we know, Sophia and I know when someone buys a house, your output typically goes up because there's other expenditures that do come out.
We all know.
So being able to having $1,100 car payments between two cars and have those now be put into his business and be able to have $600-700 a month savings on top of the compound interest that he's no longer paying. That's powerful, bro. That's good stuff. My fault. We about to say, Sophia?
So that leads me into my next question. Okay. Now I want to know this.
Okay.
What types of credit can you assist a business owner with? Like, I know that you utilized that situation where you were able to help them take a loan out of their personal name and put it into their business, but what type of product did you put them in?
Okay,
or what types of products can you put them in?
Okay, so there's multiple. So I would say when people come to me, a lot of real estate investors come to me. So typically it's business credit cards at 0%. So the 0% does expire at some point. Most of the time it's after 12 months. Okay. So between 12 to 18 months is 0%. So meaning that if you get, I get a lot of my clients, let's just say Chase Bank, right? 50 to 75,000 with Chase at 0%. There's ways that you can take cash off of credit cards and it's still 0%. As long as you make that minimum monthly payment, you'll never have to worry about paying any interest. So that's one product. The other products would be, not a cash advance though. No, that's expensive.
This is, there's no.
So what is this? What is this called?
look, that peaked their interest right there, did it, right?
I wanted to know what it was called.
All right, so there's no necessary term for it because technically to the banks, it would be considered a cash advance.
Oh, okay.
But the banks limit you on cash advances and you don't gain any points. If you got a $50K card, they might let you take $5K off. They despise those. It's just liquidation. In our terms we call it liquidation. So meaning that we can, if you got a partner, I'm not gonna tell you everything, but if you got a partner, somebody that they can invoice you. You can take the money off the card, and then you can get the money.
Okay. Yeah,
that's really the best way. So it's a legit purchase. It's just for the purchase of leveraging the 0%. But so there's other products. You got business credit cards. You have business lines of credit, which kind of would be like step 2. And the business lines of credit, you can find them up to $50K, no docs, meaning like no tax. It could be a brand new, well, not brand new. It could be a 2-year-old business.
Okay.
No business revenue. They're going to still personally guarantee it. And you can get like $50K per bank and stuff like that. Okay. And then you can kind of double dip and do a line of credit plus a business credit card and get like $75,000 to $100,000. And then you have your term loans, and then you get into like the other higher loans amount and whatnot. But yeah.
Okay.
It's multiple products. Everybody's situation is different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've personally worked with Steve, man, and he's looked out. Like I said, because I'm a real estate investor, so it's it's really good being able to utilize and leverage the business side instead of the personal side. Because I know for me, until I met Steve, I really just kind of ran everything through my personal. Like I've always had really good credit, a good credit score.
Me too,
my dad, I remember when I was young,
I can't say I always had good credit.
Well,
because when I was 22, 23. That was the first time.
I think everybody at that age, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm included. That was the worst.
I was going to say, that's why I had to kind of think about it.
Man, that was the worst time of my life.
I got to really dig into this credit thing. Because there's things that I want that I'm not getting approved for.
Yeah, so for me, man, it was like, I did have a rough patch at that age, too. So for me, it was like, I remember growing up, my dad was like, Bryan, he was like, you a black man. He was like, because you black, it's already gonna be hard for you out here. But he was like, if you black and you have bad credit, like it's gonna be like you don't even exist out here. And so I don't know why that.
I'm about to steal that because that's a fact though.
Yeah, I was like when he said that to me, I don't know why that resonated to me. I was like, I don't exist. Like, yo, I can't have that happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, I got to make sure my credit tight. So I remember I've always kind of like been cognizant of my credit. But I did have, right when I was like coming out of college, I was keeping up with the Joneses, buying True Religion jeans, the Jordans that dropped every single week. So I had a credit card because I had really good credit. I had a credit card that I think had like a $7,500 limit on it. And boy, in like a year and a half, I ran that joint up. I mean, I'm sitting there trying to keep up with my, dope boy friends, you know what I mean? They got, getting money and I'm not doing it, but they got money like that. And I'm trying to like swipe the card, trying to keep up with all these clothes and shoes and stuff. And the next thing I know, I looked at my credit, I'm like, damn, I got like a 590, 580. And so I worked hard to like, once I got in the mortgage business, I worked hard to kind of pay that stuff off or whatever, So around that 22, 23 time, I was. So
for me, my dad, he was like, look, I'm gonna let you borrow. He used to come to me. I used to earn my own money by, mowing the grass or like painting.
He's a hustler.
Yeah, like I was the only child. In the house. So I used to do things in the house for money, right? Or outside most of the time, because I didn't really like cooking like that back then. And so back then. So I would make this money, and then he would come to me and be like, "Can I borrow $200 or can I borrow $100?" And then he'll tell me, "Well, when I get paid, I'm going to pay you $110 or $120, and that's the interest." That
on top of what he borrowed.
Yes.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, because he was trying to indirectly teach me, like, hey, when you borrow money, you have to pay more back. And that's what that ultimately means. And so by the time I got to getting my own credit cards, I dawned back and thought about that. And it was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. That's what he was trying to indirectly teach me. Okay.
That's important.
Yeah. So important. He used to do that to me all the time. I never understood, because I'm like, man, you go to work every day. Why are you asking me for money?
Yeah, it's funny, man. A lot of these things, a lot of the things like our parents taught us, man, like how a lot of things change. You know, we've had the internet, you know, there's a lot of social media stuff, you know what I mean? But a lot of those old principles, man, they still here. You still, if you use them and add those principles, man, you know, you'll be successful in whatever endeavor you're trying to do.
The internet has definitely made our people better.
Yeah. It just puts the information at your fingertips.
Exactly.
That's what it does.
Exactly.
You know?
So if you live in an area where, you know, you don't have the parents to teach you those different things.
Correct.
You go to the internet, you're like, oh man, I didn't know that.
Go to YouTube.
YouTube University.
Sure.
Yep.
Look, you would just talk about this, B.
Yeah, I was.
Go to YouTube, man.
Last episode, you know, so YouTube University will teach you some things. If you don't know how to do something, I mean, it's been plenty of times I done went on YouTube trying to learn how to put some floors down or paint something or change something.
Absolutely.
You'll find anything you want to do on YouTube or Google.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What I was gonna say.
We got a couple more questions. Hold on, wait.
I'm here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question. I was gonna say, what is, if you could diminish one myth that you hear that people always talk about, because I see everything. That's one thing about, you know, the internet is good because you have information at your fingertips, but, you know, sometimes you have the wrong source that's giving the information, right? So sometimes, 100%. You know, you have people who really aren't, you know, I would say subject matter experts, just to say, in that space. So they're saying things, or maybe because they have a popularity, people believe in what they say, but it may not necessarily be the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
what is like... You always got to fact check.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say is like one myth that you want to kind of debunk, that you hear a lot of people talk about in the business credit space, that you can kind of just clear the air, I guess, about?
All right, I got it. Exactly what you said.
Okay.
Because the cost of entry to get in this industry and understand it, and then you got YouTube University where people are regurgitating information from somebody else, and a lot of times that information is not good information for the masses.
Yeah.
So one myth I would say is, when you see these people online showing you can get business credit with bad credit, or you can get a business loan with bad credit. Like if you got a 540, we can get you $250,000. It's 1,000% a myth. It does not exist.
Yeah.
It don't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the people do that because most of the people in the world are having, 500 to 600 credit scores. So they want the money before they fix their credit. And that's what I ran into. A lot of people say, man, I want the business credit cards and lines of credit, but my credit score is a 600. And I say, go fix your credit first and then come back. And they're like, was there any other options? Okay, is your business grossing $20,000 a month? No, well, I don't got no options for you here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So one of the biggest ones is having bad credit and still getting access to high limit business credit.
Yeah, and we experience that too. Won't you say that, Sophia, in our industry?
Man.
We be experiencing people saying like, because we're doing the same type of thing as far as lending in a sense. Obviously, we're lending for housing and mortgages, but people will be saying, hey, you use this lender, you can buy a house, with a 500 credit score and all this. I'm like,
and don't you hate when they try to tell you about how you do stuff?
Yeah, man. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been in this industry, man, for 17 years. Literally, my only adult job I ever had was being a mortgage loan officer, right? And I've never given a loan to somebody who has like a 540, 550 credit score. Like,
never.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, we have like
every now and again. So what I do know is with the VA loan, in the VA handbook, you technically don't have to have any credit
score
in order to qualify for that mortgage.
Yep.
But the lender is who sets the credit limit.
Right. Correct.
So if you could find a lender that's willing to lend to you with bad credit, then absolutely you can move forward with that loan. Yep. But that's the only one.
Yeah. And those what I'm saying
is
is
backed by the military, right?
They're guaranteed by the military.
Yeah.
So if you could find someone who's willing to take that risk on you, then by all means.
Yep.
But 9 times out of 10, There's really not many lenders out there that's willing to take that risk.
Yep. Correct. Because ultimately, when it comes to someone lending money, your credit score, when we look at it, that just tells us a history of how you've been able to pay things back in a timely manner.
And your ability to repay is everything.
It is. So,
and then going to what she's saying, the second part of that will be relationships. So there are banks that will lower their threshold
for your relationship.
For your how long? So when you're dealing with a bank, and y'all both were been in the bank industry, how long and how often you get into bed with them, which means that how many products you got, CDs, do you got personal checking, business checking, etc. Those products, and then if you have your direct deposits coming into those banks, they will lower the threshold because they can see how much money you're bringing in, and you're not a risk to them. So normally, if it's 700, they'll be like, well, since you've been with us for 5 years, well, you got a 680, we know you're worthy, you got a mortgage, and blah blah blah. We'll extend the credit to you. So.
Yeah,
Correct.
I've actually had that happen before. Honestly, I had someone who had a 80-90% DTI, and I was able to get a loan approved because they had over $1 million in the bank. And the house that they wanted to buy was only like $200,000-$300,000.
Well, see, that's different. Yeah. And we look at that. We always say that with compensating factors.
Correct.
Right? And a lot of times, when they say cash is king, assets, like if we could see that you already in your bank have the amount of money that we're lending to you, then that changes the game.
Yeah,
but that's a very unique
rare
situation.
Yeah,
because that person could cash out if they want to.
If they
Correct.
wanted to,
they wanted to.
So you're not a risk.
Correct. Exactly.
But some people, they utilize their
the majority of people that say that they come into us with $0, or they have we look at their bank statement, they have negative. Like you see, they're going into the negative.
Collection, charge off, collection, bankruptcy.
Yeah.
I just had someone apply for a loan yesterday. I was looking at it because I said, okay, Friday I'm gonna be pretty busy all day. Let me look at this tonight because I got the application late.
Yeah.
So I looked at it. She had a Chapter 7 that was discharged this year in January.
Oh my God.
And she had a Chapter 13 that was dismissed in 2023. And I was like, you had the audacity?
Yeah. See, me, I'm hanging up. I can't help you.
No, the application came to me sometimes I get applications and I don't even know who's applying.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the application just popped up. And I got an email from the real estate agent saying, hey, I sent this person to you, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, you can know before you send that application.
It's one of those things where the agent sent my application.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that, you know?
Yeah, we talking about the person. I'm with you, Steve. Because look, to me, that's how I look at it. Like, look, man, and look, exactly. So to me, it's like, if you owe money, like if you behind everywhere around you, all these accounts you have, you got collection here, you got a charge off here. You've been late consecutively every single month with this credit card. You had 2 bankruptcies. Sheesh. What makes you think coming over here we're gonna give you hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like, I don't understand the philosophy or the mindset behind that, man. Yeah. And people really think like that. People think like that stuff is just like, maybe they're not gonna look in that closet. Maybe they're not gonna look over there. Like maybe if I keep all the attention over here, they're not gonna look over there. I'm like, come on, man.
A lot of people think of it as like, well, I'm gonna pay my rent, or I'm gonna pay where I gotta live. Out of everything that's important, I'm gonna pay where I live. But that's really not the big picture. The big picture is what's your ability to repay us?
Long term.
Do you pay on time?
Yeah.
You know, this is 30 years.
Yeah.
This ain't.
A
lot can happen in a year, let alone 30, right?
Yeah.
So the mentality just has to change, and you have to be aware of what you're getting yourself into and the things that you're requesting, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like, it baffles me, man. Sometimes, like, just the conversations, I have sometimes with people, with where their credit is, and then I know Sophia probably can mention this. I'm pretty sure, Steve, you probably can have this as well when people come to you as far as trying to acquire business credit, maybe they're leveraging their personal credit. But it's like sometimes I'll have conversations with people and they'll get mad at me for giving them positive feedback about their credit.
Yeah.
Like, they mad at me, like I'm the one that I'm behind here moving the numbers and putting the numbers down. I'm like, nah, this is what you have done. You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with me. This is, how you've paid things, the balances you have on your credit cards or whatever accounts you've had, the payments that you've had on them. Like, this is how you're being scored based upon those different factors. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with me. And I'm trying to give you some information on how you can better that, whatever. So,
or you have some people where you tell them what to do, they do it, and then they fall right back into the same habits.
I get that.
100%.
I just found it out yesterday. One of my clients, he got on some business funding. Now he's trying to acquire some more properties in Columbus, Ohio. And then my lender from the bank called me and said, hey, man, so what's going on with this guy? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, his score's only a 680. And I said, that's my fault for not doing my due diligence to where I went back and looked at his credit before I sent them over, because I'm thinking, most of my clients, when I'm getting them business credit, they keep their personal credit A1. This happened not to be the case, and that's my fault for not checking. He's like, I might not be able to do anything for him.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's a good question.
I was about to say, this leads me to my next question. So, when it comes to being able to get business credit, right? Like, what would you say is the ideal requirement? What should that person's credit profile look like when it comes to them coming to you? And like, in most cases, like me and Sophia know kind of like, hey, if a person comes to us with this credit score, this debt to income, this work history, like 99% of the time we can get them approved, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to the business credit space, what is that credit? What is that entry that a person needs to have?
minimum credit score.
Their credit score, and it's just
Okay.
kind of like all the whole package, what it needs to look like.
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. I'm glad this is going to be up here. So it's not really, it's definitely the scores is the benchmark, and it's not the
That
Vantage
gets you in the
score.
door.
Yeah, but it's the FICO score.
Okay.
So a lot of programs out here that's free, your Credit Karmas, your Credit Sesames, and some even the banking apps that you have, they're giving you your Vantage score. And how do you tell the difference? If you open it up and at the very bottom it'll say like Vantage score 3.0.
Yep.
That's going to be the same score that Credit Karma is going to give you. And a lot of times when you're doing the free ones, there's a reason why they're free, because a lot of them are marketing companies. Like Credit Karma is a marketing company, not a credit monitoring service. So if they have Experian paid version, it's going to give you all three of their FICO scores between Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. We like to use a company called My Score IQ, which gives you all of your FICO scores. So that's the benchmark. If you start and I look at your FICO and it's 700, boom, now I'm going to open the door to see what else we got.
So 700 is kind of like that part, like you want, ideally they need to have a 700.
Ideally.
Okay.
I like to go with 720 because at 720,
just about to say,
I start
720.
I start at 720.
Yeah, we have we had in mortgage, I would say, I say 640 is kind of like the ideal FICO score. We can get you done sometimes at 620.
Right.
Even lower than
Even
that sometimes, even 600.
If you're
but
willing
640,
to put money down.
Yeah, but you're going to have to be some type of give when it comes to that. But 640 is like our number. So in business space, 700, right?
Yep, 700.
All right, cool. Keep going. Keep going. I mean,
so the profile makes the biggest thing. So the score is one thing. The other part of it will be how many personal, we call them trade lines, how many personal credit cards, not loans or lines of credit, but how many personal credit cards do you have and what do those limits look like?
Okay.
So if you have, let's say, 2 personal credit cards, you've had them for 2 years, and your limits are at $2,500 or more, ideally $5,000 or more, then that's also going to get you in the door.
Okay.
Low inquiries, obviously, so you don't want to have a bunch of, because those can get removed too. But
so what are inquiries, just for people maybe who might not know what that means?
So inquiries, anytime that you run an application for trying to get approved from a lender for a credit card, line of credit, etc., they're going to ding your credit report. And a lot of times it may not be on all 3 credit bureaus. It might just be on TransUnion. It might just be on Experian. But when you look on your credit report and you scroll down to the bottom or even at the top and you look at hard inquiries, that's just the lender or the bank pulling your credit to see what your credit. It's like a snapshot of your credit. That's all it is.
Got you.
Now they also do have soft inquiries, which they're not going to show up on your credit, but ideally you want to remove a lot of those hard inquiries.
Gotcha. Cool. So we got
And the
credit
reason
score.
why they show up on different reports is because depending on where you live in the country,
that's true too.
Is how they determine what credit they're going to pull from.
Yep. So I'll give you guys an example. So American Express, majority of the time is only going to pull Experian. So I'll have people that come to me with a bad TransUnion and a bad Equifax, but the Experian is a 750.
Yeah.
Depending on where they live at, I can still get them approved for some stuff because they're only going to pull Experian. So
Gotcha. So we got credit score 700. Then we got, I would say credit limits on credit cards, roughly, maybe over 2,500 to 5,000 is ideal.
So if you do a collective, for existing credit cards on the personal side, So collectively, you kind of like with me, I want to start off at 15,000 or more. So if you come to me and I look at all your credit cards and I add up the total, not the balances, but the total credit limits, if it equals 15,000 or more, then we can work with you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What else is important? Obviously no negatives, so no derogatories, no bankruptcy, no collections, no charge-offs, none of it. It's got to be a clean report.
Yep.
Can you get approved for business credit or business funding with at least like one ding? You can, but it does make it harder. And I tell my clients, look, I'm going to see what I can do, but you run the risk of not getting approved because you have this negative item on your credit. So.
Understood. Okay, so it sounds like as an overall...
It's very similar to us,
it's very
just
similar.
at a higher threshold.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like business credit, it's accessible, but it does sound like, at least from the personal side, from us anyway, there is like just a little bit higher of entry, I guess you could say, as far as credit score and all those things, right? Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I feel like...
And it's funny because right now I'm in the process of doing a bank statement loan for a business owner.
Okay.
And so a lot of the products, they're wanting a 700, 720, based on what I'm looking at. This is my first time doing a bank statement loan. I haven't done one ever before. Have you? I haven't done one before.
This is probably 12 years ago when I did one. Yeah, so this is before I was even with Bank of America or Wells Fargo. Yeah.
I haven't done one in a while.
We used to do like no doc loans and stuff like that back in the day, or just we don't have to pull your credit. We can do stated income and all that. So this has been a long time since I've done that.
So this is my trial run.
How's it going so far?
Well, so far it's easy for me because this particular loan product isn't like an in-house product. I'm actually like using a different company to assist with this. A corresponding lender. Yeah. So I'm just pretty much the collector. Like I'm the middleman. So I collect all the documentation. I submit it. They tell me what to say. I go back and say it.
Got you.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
But I'm in the process. He just got approved. And I'm in the process of actually getting ready to send out his pre-approval. But one thing that they don't do for me is like calculate the payment, input the fees, and things like that. So I'm in the process of making sure that I input all the fees that to make sure he's aware of how much it was cost. And because it's a bank statement loan, the interest rate is a little bit higher, right, than your traditional mortgage.
I want to say something on that,
but I told him, I said, this will get you in the door. I said, hopefully in the future, you start to make sure that when you're filing your taxes, you're not writing off everything, right? And then at that point, you can refinance, set yourself up for a refinance to get you into a traditional mortgage product, to get you a better rate, and then you can go about your business and do things like you did before. But when you're self-employed, you have to make sure that you prepare, right? That's one of the biggest things
and a lot of people are not.
That a lot of business owners don't realize.
They earning money. They know how to go out and make money, but
they don't know how to prepare for things like buying a car, buying a house. These are things that you have to look 2 years out for the most part, right? You have to prepare and make sure that you're setting up your taxes the right way in order for you to utilize your income and maximize what you're looking to buy. And
I'll say something real quick on that, and I'll let Steve jump in. I know he was going to jump in, but I mean, I could speak personally to that. Like, I actually just got my taxes back. What's today? Friday. So this was like Wednesday. My CPA just sent me back everything, and so we've been like a month and a half been kind of going over, like exactly, some of the different things that I need to give and need to provide so they can finish my return. But we've had conversations like he was telling me like last year, hey, these are the things I need to do. So I made certain purchases last year to put myself in a situation. Because for me, I'm not trying to pay no taxes. I know me and Sophia talked about this before. Like, the name of the game to me is trying to not pay taxes, but do it in a compliant way, right? So if there are different tax advantages, different tax breaks, things that you can do, like last year I purchased a vehicle that I was able to write off because of the depreciation of the vehicle and the size of the vehicle. So I bought that through our business name, and I was able to utilize that and have that as a huge depreciation, item on my tax return. So, because I wanted the vehicle, it was a need for the business that I do, I was able to, write off 80% of the cost of purchasing that vehicle, and that saved me from paying tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that. But that's something that, a person who's not afford to do, but just a professional, who's in the industry, giving you information, being able to seek out the right people to be able to give you that insight on exactly how to kind of go about things. Because, I can still go out and buy a house now. I have the write-offs, but they're written off in the way of still being able to allow me to go buy a house, the traditional way versus like having to, take heed or pay taxes, pay a big amount of taxes or whatever, to prepare to buy a house or whatnot.
So speaking on that, I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah. So recently I was in Phoenix. I had to speak at a mastermind. This was in January of this year. So one of the gentlemen that came out, his name is Carlton Dennis, real big time on YouTube, but he speaks about how to not pay taxes the legal way, leveraging real estate. So I don't know if you follow him.
What's his name?
Now, I've seen him before. I've seen him Dennis. I don't follow him, but I've seen how
like
the algorithm, because I'm in real estate, I look at stuff like that. They kind of feed me people.
He was there, so I was talking to him. But
is that the guy that I sent you before?
It is.
Okay, yeah. I seen him. I seen him in person. I can't remember where I was at, but I seen him in person.
Yeah, so him, his mom, and his brother. His mom is the originator of like the whole tax firm that they got. But now he's what they call it like an enrolled agent with the IRS.
Okay.
But he has his own program where he teaches you how to legally not pay taxes. Super duper. He went over all of that, but real cool dude too. Real cool.
Yeah,
dude.
I can tell kind of off of his content. He seems like he's pretty down to earth, and I like how he explains and dumbs things down. You know, in a way that I feel like.
He just recently did one where you can like write off like $30,000 for something. It's like something recent, right?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Okay,
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in January with him. So, but yeah, I would say if anybody's following him, he got some really good tax advice.
Yeah, he does.
Well, before I forget what I was going to speak on with you, I did lie a little bit, and I lied about having bad credit and not having access to like loans or lines of credit. So yes, there are products out there. One in particular, if you have a certain amount of money coming into, because you mind it with a bank statement loan, if you have a certain amount of money coming into like a business checking account, you can qualify for the worst product out there. It's called a merchant cash advance.
Yeah.
So what happens is you can get approved and you can get funded the same day. So if you got somebody that owns a restaurant and they're in a bind, they're like, I need money today, but that restaurant is bringing in $30,000 a month gross or even more or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
You can get approved based on those transactions, even if you have a 550 credit score. The only thing is your repayment terms are weekly or daily payments. Oh. And the interest rate is 40+%.
Good gosh.
Oh,
40%?
Yeah, but if you want to buy and you need that money, you need $10,000 right now.
Yeah, you got to sign. Yeah. I feel
that does. Yeah, but a lot of times the people that are talking about the low credit and getting loans, they don't even know nothing about merchant cash advance because the people that are watching that want that, they're not making no money in the business to even qualify for that. So,
right.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's real
bad.
How
often do you come across people who are making that kind of income monthly, but their credit is just...
Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, it's some
really?
people. It's some people.
We see it too, Sophia.
I do see it, but I'm just thinking about it like from a business perspective. I understand like people mess up their personal stuff, but I'm just,
A lot of them sometimes don't have any credit because they're just so cash rich that they're making so much money and they're like, I don't need credit. But then they realize I need credit.
Yeah. In order
they got
to
start from
survive
scratch.
in America, you need
credit.
You
do. It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code, man, for real. It's definitely a cheat
code. So my last question, and we'll get into some other stuff. Like, obviously, I know you're heavy in the credit space. I know everybody, I've heard a lot of people have debates on this. So what's to you, if you had to pick one, obviously we know both of them are important.
I know where you're going.
If you had to pick one, what's more important, obviously? Having, that 800 credit score, having a, perfect score, as they say, right? Or having a lot of cash to your disposal, So if you had to pick one, what would be the one that you would, put your hat on?
Between a lot of cash.
Because they say cash is king, and then you also hear that, like you said, people it's making, a good amount of money through their business, but let's say their credit is, not the greatest or don't have any credit, and they're in a bind. So, like, what would you think, in your mind, what is, like, if you had to have one or the other, which one would it be?
If I had cash but no credit.
Is this cash coming in consistently?
No, you have just a lump sum of cash.
Oh, lump sum.
It depends on the lump sum. There's a lot of variables, but let's just put it hypothetically. I would do credit all day long. Because I want to leverage other people's money versus my own money.
100%.
Period.
100%.
Even if I got to pay a little interest on top or whatever the case may be, I'm just going to leverage my credit. Because I know what I can do if I leverage my credit.
100%. Yeah. So, now, I'm with you on that. I subscribe to it. I know a lot of times people... Cash is king. Cash is king. I'm not disagreeing with people there at all. But I feel the same way.
Yeah, I used to be a Dave Ramsey head. So I used to buy all Dave Ramsey books. I bought the Financial Peace Universe. This is all back in my early 20s, even probably before that. And I was like, cash. I didn't finance my first car until I was 25 living in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
That was my first. I was 25. I was like, I'm going to go and actually buy, because I want to start building. This is when my credit was bad. So I had to do something to start building my credit. And, but I was all Dave Ramsey. Every car I bought, and they could, the crowd is here, but I was driving paid off cars, paid off Buick, paid off Cadillac. So it was like, I didn't really have car. I just paid cash for everything. And so I think that Dave Ramsey teaches really good methods for people who are not financially savvy, as far as like they don't know how to budget. But as far as where we at in 2024, I think his preaching is outdated.
Yeah,
you need to readjust.
I feel you. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I agree with you 100%, man. So we'll appreciate it. I mean, we'll appreciate you coming through, Steve, obviously, giving us all this good information when it comes to the business credit space.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk a little BS, though, to kind of finish off this the podcast this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, man,
so much has happened.
Yeah, so much is going on, man. Like, Diddy, man. Diddy.
Yeah.
I grew up, man, bad boy, touch that kid. Like,
hold on, wait. Did y'all see Mace interview?
Yeah.
I mean, Mace and
Cam?
He said he escaped it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I did see that.
He did the right thing.
He said, what'd he call him? He called him something in his past. Diddy, you been diddied or you something.
Oh, yeah. I saw. I can't remember.
What I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I seen like it on Instagram. I seen it real quick. I didn't really digest it though. But
Escaping Diddy?
Or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Basically trying to be like how the R. Kelly situation was. You know what I mean? Like how that
Surviving
was.
Diddy.
Yeah, it was like something that. Yeah. Man, but look, I was at the barbershop yesterday, man, and they were talking. I was like, yo, like they were talking about like my man was just like had cameras like and they was like just like doing sex stuff with dudes and stuff. It was just it was like.
Oh wait, so there's like evidence of this.
No,
I didn't know
they
that.
can't.
Well,
So suppose they can't get it because the host for his cameras in his house is an overseas company that houses all of that. So you can't get the cameras are there, but supposedly you can't get the footage because the host is overseas and nobody can get access to it. So
yeah, but I guess these are like court documents. Like these are like people that have accounts of being in these situations. Yeah, they have like people that are coming out and talking about some of these different parties, some of these different instances where Diddy was.
I seen 50 Cent also is filing for full custody of his son.
Yep.
Because Daphne is a part of a sex.
But that's
worker.
she's denied. She denied on IG. Yeah. Like she was crying and everything.
But her whole post that she read on IG, when I read it from top to bottom, I was reading to my boys, and I'm just like, it seems so scripted.
Yeah,
it seems scripted.
Yeah, probably a lawyer probably did. She probably got with a lawyer and they probably put like a little statement or something together or whatever, man. But yeah, man.
So
like
y'all think these allegations are true?
I don't know, man. I remember I went to. What was it called last year? I went to Invest Fest, man, last August, and I seen Diddy. Nah, bro. I ain't going to no Diddy party. Don't put that on me. Dog. Nah. I'm just saying, I was at Invest Fest.
Right.
And Diddy was on the stage, and he was talking. He was giving game. He was talking about his tequila and just kind of like the different stuff he got going on with Delon tequila and stuff, man. And it was just like. I felt really inspired. I've always liked Diddy's just like his business acumen, bro. I feel like my man is like
his business mind.
Yeah.
It's like Trump, right? A lot of people hate Trump, but he's a really good businessman.
Oh yeah. I mean, Trump just became like 5-time billionaire because of how he just leveraged his stock. Like, I mean, it's like so. There's a lot to learn from these people, man. But in their private life, though, dang, man.
I think that there's some truth to it.
So I'll say this, and it's funny because me and my boy was talking about this last night, and he brought a quote to me that we learned from a gentleman named Jim Rohn. And we're talking about people that were literally now coming out the closet saying that, yes, this happened. But people are like, well, why you ain't say nothing when it was going down?
Yeah.
And the quote that my boy told me, I'm going to kind of rephrase it, but he was basically saying that when you have money has the power to remove no from the English language. So you think about it. Some things that we say that we won't do.
Oh, absolutely.
If the money right,
you might.
Everybody got a price.
Everybody got a price. Everybody got a price. I can see some of the people being put in a position, dudes or females, to where they would say no, and Diddy like, well, here, shoot, I give you. Whatever amount of money, and they like, well,
I'll pay your mama house off.
Yeah,
the funny joint, man. I mean, it's not funny, but it is, man. I know y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all probably saw Columbus Short. Did y'all see him? His little story about Diddy, man. He was like, it's funny, Columbus, Ohio. Double entendre hove. Hey, yeah. But
Lord.
But anyway, Columbus Short, man. Everybody pretty much probably know him. He was Stomp the Yard dude. You know what I'm saying? He's been in other movies and stuff since then. But Columbus Short was like, I think it was the Grammys or some Oscars. It was one of those big, events that happened probably like 10 years ago or whatever. They have it every single year. He was like one night. He was married, I guess, at this time, and he was like, he said he was in the bed. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and he was like, he said that he had just watched the Grammys or Oscars, one of them or whatever, and he said he got a call from a blocked number, and he was like, he answered, and he was like, it was Diddy, and Diddy was kind of like talking like soft, like on the phone. He was just like, hey yo, where you at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess he was supposed to be at that. Whatever event that happened earlier that night or whatnot, and basically, Diddy was like, yo, trying to like see what was up with him, like say, hey, yo, you know, come through type of thing. You know what I mean? Like we having a party, like, but the club was like, yo, I ain't hear no music, I ain't hear nothing going on. It sounded like Diddy was just in a room by himself.
And he was asked him who was there with him. He's like,
nobody, just me or something like that. And Columbus Short was like, he was sitting there and his wife was right beside him. And his wife was like, yo, who was that? He was like, he had to kind of like defend himself from like a woman that was calling him late at night. He was like, yo, this is Diddy. Like, yo, this is, you know what I'm saying, or whatever or whatnot. But he was like, basically Diddy was trying to make a pass at him.
It's crazy,
you know what I mean?
Man.
So it was just, and you know, Columbus Short, he's an actor, so he was kind of putting some sauce on his little reenactment, man. But that joke had me weak, bro. That joke had me so weak, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
but my thing is I know that there's those NDAs that they sign, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Diddy has had all of these different people who are coming out sign these NDAs.
Oh, it's two. All you needed was one to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you come out and you sign this NDA, how are we here?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like, you know, when Cassie came out, you know, because they were together for a long time.
I'm pretty sure she signed NDA.
She probably did too, but I guess she got with a lawyer. Maybe they,
maybe it was a threat. Maybe she threatened to release the book or whatever she was going to release, and she really won't.
Yeah,
he had to pay up.
Yeah. So because I remember he settled that. He settled that lawsuit quick. I mean, like I've seen there were people talk about like, you know, Diddy didn't settle with a lot of the locks. You know, a lot of people Mace. You know, we were talking about him earlier, and Diddy settled with Cassie within 24 hours.
You gotta remember, she was with him 24 hours.
Oh, she was with him all the time. So
supposedly she was doing stuff with some of these people and all of that. So
and I saw a video of Young Jock. That it was an interview he did a while back, and he said that he was at a club. Cassie walked downstairs. Some white lady walked downstairs and she had her hair shaved.
Yep.
And he said he looked at Cassie and was like, "You gonna do your hair like that?"
Yep.
And the next day,
her hair was like that. Yep.
And
he got power, man.
This is Young Jock saying this years and years before all of this stuff happened. And I saw that interview and I was like.
Yeah, that money and that power, man.
And I'm pretty sure Young Jock didn't even know that what he was saying. He was just,
just saying how much,
how powerful he was back then.
Nah, we know what happened now.
Yeah.
But now it's like, he doing something.
He going down, and they still ain't found him yet. They not gonna find him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought they did find him.
That's crazy.
In the raid? You talking about Diddy, right?
Yeah.
They ain't found him?
No, so for that, no, they ain't got him.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I thought that
no, they didn't find him in the raid.
No, he wasn't in the raid, but I know that they knew where he was at, right?
Man, ain't nobody.
I don't know. I didn't see.
They ain't found him, right? No, they ain't found him.
Oh man, I didn't know he was on the run. Oh man. There's so many different pictures of Diddy. I don't know. You don't know what's recent and what's old and stuff. I saw one picture of Diddy running. He run awkward as hell. But I was like, did y'all see
the video of him coming in on the parachute?
It was.
Oh my God! It was so funny, man.
All right,
it's another island. He coming in on a parachute. They saying that's him escaping, and it was so funny.
Oh man!
All right, man. So last thing we'll get into. I know last week I'm a big hip hop head. Jay-Z's the best to me. Hove. Everybody who know me know. You know he did.
One day you gonna get Jay-Z on your podcast.
Hey, I appreciate it. If that happens, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. Yeah, right. You did laugh with it, right? But I like a lot. Like I know last week there was a big thing where because right now, you know, most people who listen to hip hop would say J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake are like the three best that's out there, right? I think that's pretty much a consensus at this point. But I did hear the Future and Metro Boomin album that dropped last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. But it was recently. And Kendrick was on there talking nasty to Drake and to J. Cole. I know Drake and J. Cole are on a tour right now. And Kendrick was talking like he went in. So I know a lot of people waiting to see if they're going to respond or whatnot. But the question I wanted to ask Steve is, if you had to order those three rappers, you know, not best, but just like 1, 2, 3, as far as how you like listening to music, give me your 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna Sophia to give hers too.
Depends on how you define the order, but I would say this: who has made more money and more hits? 100%. We all know it's Drake.
Drizzy.
100%. Now, do I think he's the best lyricist? No, because supposedly he got a ghostwriter. He got a writer for him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure J. Cole don't have a writer. Same thing with Kendrick. Which one can I literally play in the car with no problem? It's gonna be Drake.
Drizzy.
But which one would I say if I had to put in a battle to go head to head? I would rather see J. Cole and Kendrick go head to head versus Drake. Drake is irrelevant to me at that point.
Yeah.
But
just give me your 1, 2, 3. This list of like when you look back 10 years from now.
What's the best rapper? Or
just,
best album?
Between them three.
Or best artist?
Just
overall.
Just overall.
Yeah.
All that's a part of it. All that's in the gumbo. 1, 2, 3. What's your 1, 2, 3? And we got a couple minutes left. So
some people not gonna like this watching this, but if it was me, I'd put Drake, and then Kendrick, and then J. Cole.
Okay.
So for me, I would put Drake. I would put Cole second. I'm putting Kendrick third. Now let me just preface that with, I like Kendrick a lot. Like, Good Kid, Bad City, his first album, like, is to me is better than any of those any album that any one of them has ever dropped.
Okay.
Right? Personally, for me. But Kendrick has like a very unique style that I like him, but I can't get into him all the time like I get into Drake. Like you said, Drake can play Drake with my mama around, my kids, like it don't matter, right? And he got hits. And then J. Cole, I'm from Carolina, man. And Cole be rap. Cole's like this generation's Nas to me, which is Nas is one of my favorite too. You know what I mean? That's how I look at Cole. So I got Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick. What you got, Sophia? What you got?
Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick.
Okay, you got the same as mine.
That's why I said some people ain't gonna like mine.
Yeah. No.
But I'm gonna tell you,
I like Kendrick.
for me, it only comes from I never sat down and really listened to Cole. That's the only reason why. So maybe if I really listened to him, I probably would switch the list. But that's only because I never really sat down and listened to him.
He's more of a lyricist to me.
Yeah.
Like,
and I remember, man, growing up, not even growing up, but like when I was like in college, I remember like I got a lot of cousins and family that in Carolina, and it was pretty cool to kind of see Cole's maturation because like I remember like my cousins like, yo, this is dude from Carolina, bro. Like he liked that.
Nice,
and he would like, this was back when mixtapes and people, listen to CDs still. And I remember I would go down to Carolina and we'd be listening. They were like, yo, and hear stuff on the radio, stuff that hadn't even made it like to national radio. And like it's crazy just to see like the warm up and all the stuff that end up like that stuff that was made a long time ago that I had heard like 2-3 years ago and see him kind of be who he ended up being, bro. So I thought that was pretty cool.
He a lyricist though.
Yeah, he dope. Yeah, he dope, man. But that's what's up, man. So again, I want to appreciate my man Steve, like I said, coming from out of town, coming to check our podcast out, being able to drop some gems as far as business credit, just kind of explaining some of his personal story, with us. So we really appreciate that, Steve. And then we also wanted to, if you have like a way to reach out to you as far as if someone was looking for business credit or just wanted to shout you out or be able to get access to you, man, how would they do that?
Oh, it's a good question. Appreciate you for allowing me to be here as well. Quickest way to find me, if you're trying to find me on social media, I'm more prevalent on Facebook just because I'm old school. I did recently just start a YouTube channel as well, but if you find me on Facebook, just Stephen Blanchard, I'll pop up as me wearing the black hat. But my Facebook handle, I think, is facebook.com/I am Stephen Blanchard. You'll find me up there.
With
a PH, yeah, with a PH. You're right, because ain't no V's over here.
Ain't no V's over here.
But that's the fastest way to find me. And like I said, I'm launching a YouTube channel. But I just want to say thank y'all for having me come out as well, looking to grow with y'all. Hopefully I get a recording of this and be able to give my audience and shout y'all out and help y'all in any way that I can with my audience too. So
absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Man. Nah, we appreciate it, man. And again, if you always want to reach myself, I'm Bryan Royster, a part of Let's Talk BS podcast. It's Bryan_Royster on Instagram, and then just Bryan with the Y, Royster on Facebook.
And I'm SKV_mortgage, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
All right, peace.